Alright guys, so the topic of this video is going to be women's bodybuilding, and has women's bodybuilding come to an end in the IFBB? Now I've just been informed that apparently the Arnold Classic this year is no longer holding the Miss International women's bodybuilding competition, which they've held every year for the past 25 Arnold Classics. So that's kind of a big step in bodybuilding, for the Arnold Classic to drop the women's bodybuilding. And to me, that indicates the shift from this big muscular women's physique that was women's bodybuilding to the IFBB trying to shift over to more of a look between bikini and physique. So that's what I think is going to happen. Since Iris Kyle just won her 9th Miss Olympia, I feel like next year at the Olympia also they're going to cut out women's bodybuilding and just keep all these women's classes, the physique, the figure, the fitness, the bikini, because they've already got enough women's classes, and these judges and these people who are at the head of the IFBB are starting to realize that these women bodybuilders are getting less respect, and more criticism for looking like men, and the steroid use and the extreme muscularity and the freakiness isn't really getting the appreciation that the men are getting for their muscularity, because they're women and they're not supposed to look like that, and it's taboo. So I think that's the shift that the IFBB is going through right now. We've obviously came a long way from the first Miss Olympia, Rachel McLeish, who had a more, she almost had a figure look to her. She almost looked like a bikini competitor. She was a sexy, beautiful woman, with a womanly physique, Rachel McLeish, and she was the first Miss Olympia, to now with Iris Kyle, who probably weighs, two 210 on stage. I don't know where I would put Iris Kyle in terms of weight, but she's a big muscular girl. She's a big freak, like a man, like a male bodybuilder. So I feel like the IFBB is kind of going in the direction of pushing, physique, figure, bikini, especially with Dana Lynn Bailey at the forefront of the physique division. They're obviously trying to push this whole physique thing with men's physique that was just now a part of the Olympia for the first year ever. Women's physique, which was also the first year ever for women's physique at the Olympia. So I feel like this first year of physique at the Olympia was kind of testing the waters to see how people would react. And apparently these men's and women's physique divisions are getting a huge crowd reaction. They're bringing a lot more people to the sport who couldn't otherwise compete as a big, 250-pound pro bodybuilder. Maybe they could compete as a 180-pound men's physique guy, or a woman who wants to be fit but not be a 200-pound female bodybuilder can compete in the women's physique and do well and still look, feminine. So I feel like that's what the IFBB is pushing for, to pull more people towards the IFBB instead of pushing them away with the freaky-looking women, which I think is wrong. I think the women who bodybuild should get just as much respect as the men. But we live in a society where people are just so judgmental that they can never understand the dedication and hard work that these women have to put in to look like that, and these people would rather just chalk it up to steroids and call them freaks. So sadly, I think that is where this IFBB thing is going. They're going to get rid of women's bodybuilding. Removing it from the Arnold Classic is huge. I don't know if you guys understand. That's big news that they're removing the Miss International from the Arnold Classic. That's really big, and that could potentially be reflective of all IFBB shows across the board, because the Arnold Classic's a big show. A lot of people go, and how the crowd and how the fans will react to the Arnold Classic not having women's bodybuilding is going to be reflective of how the fans are going to react all across the board if they get rid of women's bodybuilding. So I think they're testing the waters. I think the shows are already a little bit long with all these women's divisions. Personally, if you were to cut women's divisions, I would say you need to cut bikini, because there's really no skill, there's no talent involved in being bikini. The judges are just judging who's the sexiest, who's got the best butt, who's got the best tits, who's got the littlest waist, who's got the prettiest face, who's got the best hair, who's got the best makeup. That's a fucking beauty pageant is what the bikini thing is. There's really no muscularity. There's really no, hard, intense training that goes into being a bikini champion. I'm sure some bikini competitors are going to come on and, comment, yeah, we got to diet, we got to do everything everybody else got to do. But it's not extreme. It's not why I got into following the IFBB, to watch a bunch of girls who think they're hot shit parade around the stage just because they got fake boobs and a nice butt. I came to see people who work really, really, really hard, who have extreme above and beyond physiques, like out of this world physiques. That's what the IFBB is about, not an average girl who can look good in a bikini. So I think they should cut bikini if they're going to cut a women's thing, and pick either figure, fitness, or physique. They need to keep one, not all three. They need to keep one. I think figure and physique are so close. They just need to combine them and call them one thing. I don't really see the difference between figure and physique. They're essentially the same to me. I think their muscularities are very similar, and I think they should cut that. And I think they should keep the women's bodybuilding, because I appreciate the women's bodybuilding. Oh, excuse me. I can appreciate the dedication and the hard work that they put in to maintain these massive muscular physiques. I think it's really impressive, it's really incredible, and it's really above and beyond human potential. And that's why I'm a fan of the IFBB, to see stuff like that. Not to see bikini girls. I can go buy a Playboy magazine if I want to see that. I'm a fan of bodybuilding. I'm not a fan of pageantry. I'm not a fan of cockiness and all the things that are associated with these bikini competitors just strutting their stuff and thinking they're sexy. And just, that's not what I got into the IFBB for. So like if you agree with me, like if you think it's a shame that they're cutting women's bodybuilding, because I was personally a fan and I don't want to see it cut, but I think that's what's going to happen. So let me know what your thoughts are on that, and like the video if you agree that it's bullshit that they're cutting it.